What is spiritual cognitive dissonance? Well, in short, it is what you observe in about 99% of all organized religion, in all spiritual teachings, in what literally almost all of the gurus teach. It's all spiritual cognitive dissonance. And what do I mean by that? Well, it's like, let's say you have let's say you have a group, a gathering of people that want to pray, worship, a spiritual group, a sangha, whatever it is, and they want to, could be a Christian group, and they're all hugging each other and teaching the value of love and just whatever you can imagine that would be a wonderful group of people that all love each other and having a good time. And then you introduce into the group a raging monster that is trying to stab everyone with a knife and using the most profanity you can possibly imagine and trying to overpower everyone in the group, and if allowed to continue on his rampage would actually kill everyone in the group. And so somebody or everyone somehow have to eliminate that person from the group, and then they can get back to their spiritual condition or situation. That's what we are beset with in this reality. Only it's the absolute opposite. So what spiritual teachers teach and what gurus teach and what religion teaches is that they must work and help and teach and try to make the world a better place. In Hindu teaching, this is the Kali Yuga period, and we need to change things so that we can get back to the golden era and where the world is filled with righteous people, etc., etc., etc. And the reality is, Jesus taught love, and he was hung on a cross and murdered. And we have Buddha, who his main teaching was that life is pain and misery, and he was seeking a better way, and how could he replace it with love or something, but certainly he acknowledged that this world is pain and suffering, and he was using meditation and enlightenment and whatever he could to escape this reality. And then we have Krishna taught in their books about how he advised Arjuna, just, you're the king, you're the ruler, we need the rule of law. Just go out and kill everyone, even though it's your cousins that are fighting against you. Go out and kill them all, destroy them, whatever you have to do. And that's what Krishna taught. Well, none of this sounds like a loving, kind, warm and fuzzy type reality. And Jesus taught, made it crystal clear. You really have to be completely unaware if you missed the concept or what Jesus taught, that evil is the ruler of this world, or the devil is the Lord of this world, or the God of this world. Made it crystal clear. So if you are a spiritual person, you are suffering cognitive dissonance. Now, evil people, they are not suffering cognitive dissonance, and they represent the majority of this planet, the majority of this world, on varying degrees on the scale or the spiritual spectrum. And what do I mean by this? Well, so spiritual people think that somehow they can show love, mercy, that they can show that through submission, that the bad and evil people will leave them alone, and you can convert them by showing love and compassion and this sort of thing, and that you don't have to stand up for yourself and defend yourself with guns and weapons and all that kind of stuff. Of course, that's nonsense. Jesus taught that, and he was hung on a cross and murdered. And every spiritual master that was enlightened, that ever lived, taught that this reality is a living hell. That's just the way it is. The devil is the god of this world. So then the people that follow evil, they're not like spiritual people. They're not unaware. They're not ignorant. They're not suffering from cognitive dissonance like spiritual people are. They're completely aware of what's going on, and they take advantage of it. And they, in essence, laugh at spiritual people because spiritual people are so unaware that they can go in and just do whatever it is they want to do without any retaliation or any pushback from the spiritual community, so to say. And of course, they enjoy living a life of doing whatever they please. Now, in cognitive dissonance, I was watching an incredibly well-known spiritual master that teaches today was asked that question, and he responded in a way that said, you know, you got to show love and compassion, and you'll turn away the evil heart and the people. And of course, it's all nonsense. It's not true. It shows a level of cognitive dissonance on that spiritual master. Because where do you draw where does the line start? For instance, how does a child show love and compassion and it will turn away the heart of evil people? Of course, a child has no way of knowing what's going on, and there are thousands of children every single thousands, probably millions of children on a daily basis that are raped, murdered, molested, and the list goes on. And of course, these children are innocent. They don't have any, of course, they're showing love and compassion. That's all they are when they're born. They don't know anything other than that. And of course, they are murdered, killed, raped, molested. And of course, where does that spectrum go? You say as an adult, that at some point you can show love and compassion and it will turn away the evil heart. But that's not true. There's no truth in it. I'm speaking for myself as a spiritual person. And I'm also speaking as an enlightened person. So I understand that this reality is an illusion. I get that, and it's totally true. And this reality is a temporary scenario that actually it predetermines your eternal self by allowing us to have total freedom to do whatever it is we please. So in reality, we have a world where we as spiritual people are unwelcome here. This is not our world. It doesn't matter how much you convince yourself, it doesn't matter how much cognitive dissonance you suffer. This is not only not the kingdom of God, but it never will be the kingdom of God. This is the kingdom of the devil. We are intruders here. We are not indigenous in this reality, in this realm, on this particular planet. We are the invaders. And then they teach us, when I say they, the unaware, unenlightened, cognitive dissonant people are teaching you false teachings that everything is lovey-dovey and things are going to work out. No, they're not going to work out. They're never going to work out here. This is not your home. This is not your kingdom. You don't own it. You're never going to own it. It doesn't matter how many of you team together and create an environment of whatever. It just isn't going to work. Even if you could overthrow all of mankind that's evil, every single day another child is born that has the nature of evil because of the fact that they are reincarnated beings. And with reincarnation comes a person that has never repented or changed in their past life, and they are already born with this past history of their essence, which is evil. And that's one of the points and purposes of this reality. And so you can't stop it from happening. But there is a word that people teach, which actually is true, and that says, I am in the world, but I am not of the world. So if you really took that to heart and understood what that meant, then you wouldn't suffer from the cognitive dissonance, and then you would realize, no, you cannot change this world. Excuse me. But you can teach love, and you can teach all these things, but don't think that it's going to be easy on this world. I mean, as I was saying, even if you could overthrow all of mankind, every day 1 million evil children are born, and I don't mean all children are evil. I'm just saying the reality is people are evil, and they don't just automatically become evil and grow up, and at 10 years old a spark changes and they become evil. No, that's not the case. That's stupid to even think such a thing. So every day children are born evil, but even if you could get rid of that, even if you could only have little Jesuses born everywhere in the world, and Mary Magdalene's, and that's all that was born in the world, it wouldn't change the fact that this still is the domain of the devil. So yeah, you can look around and see the beauty and all the things that are wonderful in the world, but you're still going to have asteroids and earthquakes and lions that chew you to pieces and kill you, and bugs and viruses and mosquitoes that bite you and infect you with disease. I mean, there is no way to make this what you think it ought to be. All you can do is do your best to survive, recognize that what we have here is a hellish existence, so to say. We can enjoy the beauty, we can enjoy the rare few people that are loving and compassionate, but if you are one of the rare individuals in this world that really is good at heart, I would say wake up. Recognize the fact that this reality isn't what you think it is. You are an intruder, you are an invader, you are an unwanted citizen of this reality. Now, in a way, we could say you're not an unwanted citizen. Those evil people want and need people like yourself to murder, rape, pillage, plunder, take advantage of, turn into slaves to work for them, etc., etc. And you supply that to them. But what you could do is wake up to the reality that that's what's happening, and don't turn a blind eye and think that everything can be made wonderful and pleasant and everything else. No, can't be done that way. It's literally impossible. And unless good people stand up and recognize that this is what's going on, and unless they team together and try to in groups to protect themselves from this onslaught of evil, eventually they'll all be wiped out, and then we're stuck with the same scenario where, in reverse, every day a good child is born that is, like Buddha or Krishna or whatever, and that child, as it's growing up, would probably be raped and molested and murdered before it becomes a teenager, so that no good will exist in this world. And of course, when that happens, according to ancient history and stuff like that, you got the flood, you got this, you got that, and they say, they would like to say with cognitive dissonance that somehow magically the cycles from the Kali Yuga all the way around somehow recycles back to good, and they don't realize, well, yeah, it doesn't cycle back from good just organically or just the way things are going, or the people will all bind together and sing lovely songs and stuff like that, and that somehow things are going to change. No, that's never going to happen. The only way it's going to happen is the way it has always happened for millions and millions of years. Mankind is completely and utterly wiped off the planet Earth through floods or this or whatever. There's many stories that depict a reality where the floods and stuff like that. And then there's just a handful of people left to restart the process over again, because the Creator God recognizes that there's no point in sending good people to this reality to experience reality if they're never going to make it to a teenage year, because they're all going to be raped, plundered, pillaged, murdered, killed, and etc., etc. So everybody has to be wiped off, and we start the process over again. That's the way it is. It's never going to change. It just is that way. If this continues on, and then there's another big bang and another big bang and another big bang and another big bang, or another created reality, or another kalpa of time passes or whatever, it's never going to change. There is always going to be this type reality in existence, and it's never going to change. That's just the way it is. Don't think that it is. Otherwise, you're suffering from cognitive dissonance. But this is a temporary reality. This is not the end-all, be-all reality. It's just a temporary reality. And what you need to do is you need to find an enlightened guru or friends that are understanding of what this reality is, and combine with them if you want to learn the spiritual truths that escapes literally everyone on this planet. Thank you for watching. Bye.